Ha, I've been muted this whole time. That's so fun. Alright, maybe you all can hear me now. That'd be so nice. Okay. So what the fuck are we doing? Excuse me. What we're doing is we're creating a content management system. I realized I wasn't talking before. A content management system, and what I wanted to do right now was create this function called invariant. This function is going to check if the precondition has failed. If that precondition failed, it's going to throw an invariant error with the message provided. I'm just gonna make sure you give me one. If it doesn't, whatever. Okay. And if it does pass, it just moves on, and it's a no-op, basically. Well, it's not a no-op. It is checking. Anyway, I have something. It's an invariant. It's a common thing to do to check values. Why did I do that? I have some server. That's going to be an Express server because Express is just easy. So I'm Express, it's body posture. I'm going to set some headers. So that's right. We're using some weird class shit that I said never use, but we're going to use it because I don't give a shit. Good. Someone else left. Good. Okay. Constructor. I have, when I create a new server, I'm going to set the private key app to be what happens when I call Express. When I call start, I'm going to give you a port and a callback. And I'm going to say, this is where the invariant comes in. I'm going to say if, no, I'm going to do invariant. If the condition I pass, if the first value I pass is truthy, it's fine. So I want know this dot instance. So cannot start a server that has already been started. Please, what do I want to say here? Please stop the server instance and try calling start again. Okay, so if this returns falsy, throw this error. This will return falsy if there is an instance because of the not negation. It's a little weird, but I like this a lot, so we're going to keep it. Okay, so when you call start on this server instance, well, first, when you create this server instance, I'm going to set the Express app. I'm going to create the server app key to whatever Express gives us. That's some nice little server. Really similar to Connect or Knex, if that's your thing. Or excuse me. Cool. When you click start on that server instance that this made, I'm going to say, hey, if you've done that before, I'm going to throw an error. You can't start the same server twice. If this doesn't throw, I move on to line 18. Line 18 is saying I'm going to set the result of calling listen to this dot instance. I know listen returns an HTTP server, right? So in Node, there's this HTTP server. Express wraps it. When you call listen, it exposes it. I'm also going to return to the caller of start this instance. So let's see that in action. Oops. So when I call server, I'm calling this class, right? I'm requiring this class. So now this is that class. I want an instance of it. Now this server is an instance of this class. I can actually split it right so we can see what we're talking about here. So when I do require server, I'm requiring this class. Now when I call new server, I get an instance. This calls this constructor and returns an instance of this class. So now server should have start and start. So this will throw an error, but it's going to throw this error. Let's see that. Oh, I have a log. Start him. I do not think we will get the second line logged. Let's find out. Ooh, cannot find module server. Ah, because I misspelt it. It's a lowercase s. Cool. So we don't get that other one because it throws an error before. we're saying precondition failed. Cannot start a server that's already been started. Please stop the server instance. Try calling again. So if I go like this, now I should get server started. Cool. And I definitely want the port. So let's grab the port from our environment. And I want to, oops, port. And the callback we give it, I want this to also have port. So we're going to start the server. It is going to start on the port that is set on environment, and then it's going to log that it has started. Server started at log. Perfect. Okay, then we have some server. Let's learn how to stop it. When I stop a server, what am I going to take? I'm going to take some callback function. I'm going to have my invariant check that there is a this.instance. If this is truthy, if this is, yeah, so if there's not, see, it's this thing is not easy. If this is false, if there is no instance, I want to throw cannot stop a server that has not been started. Please start the server instance and try calling stop again. And we turn the, okay. Oh, I also, this would never fail because I never call, I never destroy. So I'm gonna create some server. The server is gonna be, it's gonna be a wrapper around this HTTP server instance, right? And I can start it and I can stop it. When I start the server, I give it a port and a callback, and it checks to make sure that there isn't an instance already. If there isn't an instance already, it's going to create one and return the server instance. Not this one, but so many words. Okay, you get what I'm saying. On stop, if there is an instance, it's going to close that instance, and then it's going to delete that instance, and it's going to return the server instance. So that way I can do this. And I get server stopped. Why don't I get server started and then server stopped? It's because of how quickly we're calling instance.close. I'm going to assume this returns synchronously. I know this returns synchronously, right? So this .app.listen returns the instance, and we immediately return this. And then we call close on the instance and return this. And before we can call this callback on the app, we close the app. So therefore we call this callback and never this callback. And if I do this, I should get an error. Cannot stop a server that's not been started. Please start the server instance and try calling stop again. Perfect. Okay, so what do we know we can do? We know that we can start a server, we can stop a server. We know that we can only start the server once. We know we can only stop the same server once. And then I want to do server.stop. Oops. And then when I stop, I want to log.fatal. I can't type. And then the exact same thing for unhandled rejection. I think that's right. So if you're cute, you would like wrap this up in a function and call the function. Let's call it. Let's do that. I don't like doing the same thing twice without wrapping it in a function, man. It's like I'm doing the same thing and I'm gonna update or change this at some point in the future. Like, why not just make it a function? Okay, so what did I just do? I added onto the process. Oh, you need the error, don't you? I can just do cleanup then. Cleanup type. Cleanup unhandled rejection. Cleanup. Double work, Tim. I know. But now if I do type, and then you do error. So, uncaught exception, that's no longer true. Type, shutting down. Okay, so on uncaught exception, I'm going to clean up an uncaught exception. So that's type. We return this function to the process.on. So when there's an uncaught exception, they will pass the error to our function. When there's an unhandled rejection, our type is unhandled rejection. This value is now this value. We're returning this value, so that's our callback. And when there's an unhandled rejection, we will call blah, 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 this function, passing in the error, holding type in the closure. Functional programming, what? Okay, cool. And then I can show that this works by doing this. So that should trigger the uncaught exception. What? Oh, I need to start first. Haha, that's fine. That's fine. Let's do this. There's no instance, I'm going to return this. So that way we can do this and not worry. Oh, but that's not going to work. That's not how I want it. What I want to do actually is do callback. Return this. Do I want to do that? Ugh, it's single threaded is the problem. I'm going to assume that your shit doesn't do anything important. What if I just do this? I just want to see it. Ah, here we go. Uncaught exception, shutting down, app crashed. So, why do we want to crash the app when this happens? That's a really good question. If these things ever happen, right? If we ever get an error at this level of our code, this is the entry point. This is the highest, most removed level of our code. This is kind of important, so I'm gonna turn this down. Oh no, you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh no. Okay. We want to catch errors at this level because this is the last line of defense, right? There is no code that we can write here. There's some in Kubernetes and you higher level, but in our node level, there is no code higher than this. There is no parent of this code, right? So this is our last chance to catch any sort of errors. So we're going to catch some, right? We're going to say if there's ever an error that was not caught. So here's an error that was not caught. It's thrown. There's no try catch. We're going to call here. And what we can do is we're going to log it and say, hey, something happened. Someone do something. We're going to stop, right? Someone do something. And then we're going to exit one. And the reason why we throw error code 1 on process exit is we want our runner, our Kubernetes, our AWS, whoever's running this app, to say, oh shit, something bad happened. And we want to say something bad happened because there's no possible way at this point in time for us to know how to fix this, right? Without getting really crazy and introspecting errors and going all out, at this level, if our DB threw while we're reading some value and we bubbled up to here without catching it, there's no way we can handle that request. There's no way we can handle anything. So we're going to barf and we're going to say, hey, somebody fix this. I'm broken. Somebody do something, right? Also, if a promise throws, we now get unhandled rejection. Cool. And then I want to do uncaught exception and then unhandled rejection. Cool. Perfect. We can listen to music now. Go back to what we were doing. Turn it up a little bit. Cool. So now I know if I ever throw an error during my process, I am going to have caught it, and I am going to have stopped my server, and we can add things to that, right? We can say, well, now go close the DB, we'll now go flush to a lot. We can do stuff here. And then we're gonna exit. We're gonna throw a process error and hope Kubernetes, or as you saw, NodeMon, right? People can pick up on that exit one and know something, right? And we're logging fatal because we want whoever's watching these logs. Maybe we have some trigger, maybe we have some smart worker. I don't know. It's gonna say, oh shit, there's a fatal. This is really important. I need to tell somebody. Contenty on this host through this error. Cool. Now I'm going to do a few things. I want, when I start this, so I have some middleware, module.exports.cores, equals require cores. Cores allows cross-origin requests to go through, so people that are in the browser on abc.com can make requests to my API on def.com. Helmet sets some security headers, and let's show what I'm talking about here. What these both do, these are both going to be middleware that, so I don't get, that's fine. I should be getting a 404, that's fine, but let's do it very, very, very verbose. So I get, did I set those? No. Okay, so I get these. That's just kind of what happens when you create an Express app. These are the request headers I'm sending. These are the response headers I'm getting, and that's the body. I want to set some more headers here. So I want to set chorus headers. I have some pre-ware. This pre-ware is going to run before anything else. And it's going to be middleware.cores, middleware.security headers. Okay. So this pre-ware is going to be added before anything else. So for const middleware of pre-ware, for each item in that pre-ware list, I am going to call this.app.use middleware. So now, if I send the same request, making sure, yep. Wow, look how many more freaking things I got. Okay, that's cool. Did we get powered by Express here? No, we didn't. We must have removed that. Cool, wow, DNS prefetch. Oh my gosh, expect CT, frame options, download. Oh my gosh. And then these allow access. What's that? What's that? That's so crazy. So there you go. That's what those do. Cool. I have some server. I can start. I can stop. That's cool. What's our goals? I can create content types. Okay, so I have some server. I now want routes. Routes, I'm going to have some DB route. Let's do it this way because it looks cooler. Const DB equals router DB dot. When I make a post request to migrate, can I do this? No. To migrate, I need another middleware. That's called route. You're going to be given a request, a response, and a next, and you're going to try. Okay, so let's do it the old-fashioned way, and then show you what we're gonna change it to. So I have some router. This router is gonna have a post handler. It's gonna respond to post requests at the /migrate path. We are going to db equals require. We're just gonna go up and reach and get it for now. db, oops, db. Okay, so I'm gonna migrate my db. Oh wait, db, is it, yeah, migrate.latest. Yep, res.json data. Okay, and then I'm going to require my routes. I'm going to call these routes. Okay, and then I want to require it from here. So I'm going to have a new router once again, and it's going to have route. It's going to be router. I'm going to have const db equals require this db. So our routes dot, when you get a /db, use db. So routes, okay, and then I want to pass that in when I do, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so I want actually this to be, let's do routes. Okay, so what does that do? Let's go back to see what I did. I have some Express router. I'm requiring some other Express router. I'm going to say when you get any request that starts with /db, route it to this db. So now if you have /db /migrate and it's a post request, handle this. So I imagine at this point in time, oops, I can still do that. Ooh. Await is only valid in an async function. You got it, dude. Middleware. Oh, my bad. Don't want that. Okay. And then if I do this, I get that. And then if I do db migrate, ooh, I got an error. Cannot get right. It's going to hang for a bit. Yep. It's going to yell at me. So what it's doing right now is it's trying to connect to a database per our environment variables, but there isn't one there, and I should see an error here. And it's taking a long time, which is what I'd imagine. I think there's like a 5-second timeout. A buddy of mine saw this error on node 14 and didn't know what happened. It should say something about cannot is a pool full or something. Let's see. It's been a lot longer than 5 seconds. We still haven't responded, have we? No. We haven't thrown an error. Okay, well, while that's doing that, I'm gonna fix it. So, I don't have a DB, so let's add one. We want a Postgres one. We want to map to my computer. It's port 5432. We need an environment file. It's going to be at the config, which is going to have a data store folder, and that's going to have a .env file. And that .env file needs a Postgres user. Have you failed yet? No, still no. Wow, I'm gonna close that because that's getting annoying. Ah, finally through. Okay. I understand what happened here. We got it through an error, but we didn't catch any. So let's prove that. I would assume if I did a try catch E, return next E, I would see something different now. Ha! Yeah, connection refused. That's what I thought, man. So it's saying it cannot connect to the DB at all. And we have to do this weird try catch next thing. Let's fix that first. Wow, in the middle of so many things, it's gonna be so fun. Okay. So it's in my server, it's in my middleware. Okay. And middleware.route. So let's go back to what I had before I had the try catch. It's just my happy path, right? I'm gonna assume, oh no. Did I save? Yes. Middleware route, await handler. Okay, yes, yes. Oh, did I not? I don't want Knex, okay? I don't know what's going on here. Oh, because it restarted, that's fine. No, that should throw. I know it should. How do I know? Because I know. Middleware route. I have some route. I'm gonna pass you. I did this backwards. I'm so stupid sometimes. I pass you a handler. And then I'll, yeah, okay. Duh. Duh, 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 duh. Yeah. Okay, so I feel stupid. Okay, so I have some middleware that's called route. This route will take a handler, which is a request and response mapping, and then it will return an async route. This async route is going to get a request or response, and this next function, this is an express thing. That's why I feel like it's a server thing. So I'm going to await my handler that I passed in to handle it, and if that throws an error, I'm going to forward that error on. So what does that forward erroring on look like? Right there. So we're going to try to migrate. If that fails, we're going to throw an error to this middleware, which then forwards it on to Express. Now I can Postgres. Now I can fix this error. Let's tell Docker Compose to create that server for us without me changing anything. Whoops. It works. We are able to run the migration. We ran the first migration, and it was this file. So our migrations are working. Now I want to roll back. So when I post to rollback, I need a route, which gets a request and a response, and it's going to say my data is what happens when I ask my DB to roll back. And you can tell me to use all. And I'm going to res.json data that. And we're going to change this to 201 because we did affect something. I feel like 201 is the best one there. It's just, yeah, let's do 200. I'm not going to fight that. Okay. So I expect that to do nothing. And then if I do rollback, I see something. If I do rollback again, I see nothing. Okay. I can do rollback as many times as I want. Nothing bad's going to happen. I can do migrate as many times as I want and nothing happens. What? Rollback all post 50-50, no matches found. Oh, I need to do this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. So now, my server can now talk to, that's 4 of you. Way to go, guys. You guys got nothing to do on a Saturday. How weird. My config, cool. Okay. Back to our goals. I want to create content types. So I'm going to have some table. Oh, there's 2 of you now. Good. 4 followers. Who the fuck? Kylie followed me. Thanks, dude. Okay. I now need some sort of data type thing. Oh, shit. Here. Ignore that no modules in case. So what I need is I need, what do I need? A yarn migration. It's going to be called data types. And this is where we're going to start fulfilling our goals. Once again, I just want to have autocomplete, so I'm using JS docs. Trip, just follow me. That's what's up, dude. Thanks. I'm going to call these collections. I named it data types. I'm going to rename it actually to collections. Okay. Oops. So, when I create a SQL migration, I need to say, here's how I go forward in my migration, and here's how I go backwards in my migration. It is vitally important that both of these work, or else your migrations are going to get into a weird ball of mud. So when I want to move forward in this migration, I'm going to create this new table. A table is a grouping of things. I'm going to call this table collections. And then I get this table and I can create it. We're going to do that in a second. But rolling back, I can drop my table. So without filling in anything, I want to make sure this still works. If I migrate, you see how I move forward one, and if I roll back, I roll back one. Let's migrate again. I move forward, I move back. So now we're back. We've dropped the table. So now let's create this table. Each table is going to have a UUID, and it's going to be an ID. It's going to be their primary ID. It's not nullable, and it's going to default to version 4 ID. We're not going to comment that. Table dot text is name. Oops. Not nullable, and it's going to be unique. Comment. What do we want to comment this? We want this to be posts, inventory, etc. Okay. So when I create collections, when I create the collections table, it's going to have two columns so far, an ID and a name. The ID is just so that I can change the name all willy-nilly, but it's still the same thing, right? It's kind of like your dog, right? Logan Bear, Logan, Doo-Doo Face, they all mean the same thing, right? Their name may change, but his ID, the thing that he is, his unique identifier is still him, right? Cool. What else would we want to set here? What would be very interesting is if I had a slug as well. And that's not nullable, and that must be unique. And I'm going to comment the URI prefix for accessing this collection. I don't know why I did it in that case. Okay, slug, meaning I'm going to have abc.com/slug/ID, right? And this will be a collection inside of this row, right? Where I can do slug, and that would give me all of those items, right? So let's go ahead and let's create let's first run this migration. I get the migrate, let's roll back. So I always like to do this like 10 times. I can migrate, I can roll back, I can migrate, I can roll back. I've migrated, let's migrate again, I get nothing. Cool. So what we want to do is we now want to create some sort of route or some sort of API, application programmable interface, anyway, over these collections. So the exact same thing as here. I need access to the DB, I need the router, I need middleware. I'm going to say collections equals my router. So collections.get. If you ask me for, we got to think this through since we're going to get a little abstract here. Let's think through what I want to do. Actually, I'm going to create a collection. Let's just start there. It's a route. So I have something here, and I need to do this. Const collection equals require collections. Collections. You could probably do this with some config, but we're not going to worry about that. Okay. I am going to create a post route at /collections. /collections. It's going to go to here. I'll make a post route. So when I want to create a new collection, I'm going to grab the body off of my request. I am going to say if no body.title, throw bad input error. If no body.name, throw bad input error. If no body.slug, we're going to slugify. Is that a npm slugify? Is that a package? I don't want to have to write my own. Slugify string. There we go. How do you do this? Oh, hell yeah. Oh my god, guy. Thank you. Oops. Goes backwards. So, if I don't have a title, I'm going to throw some error. If I don't have a name, I'm going to throw some error. If I don't have a slug, though, I am going to just create it from the name. I don't have title. What the fuck are you doing? If I don't have a name, throw an error. If I don't have a slug, use the name. So now I want to okay. Yep, this is right. This is right. Arizona man. Okay. So if I have a bad, I'm gonna do throw new HTTP errors, bad input, body.name. Oh no. Let's just see what happens. Okay. This is not really working how I want it. We're gonna add more abstractions in a second. Ugh. But here's what I expect to happen. I'm going to hit my routes, which I create here. These routes I'm gonna hit /collections, so it's gonna go here. It's gonna be a post request, so it's gonna hit here, and I'm not gonna give it a name, and I expect it to give me an error back. Let's use something other than curl so we can kind of interact and see what we're doing. We're gonna create a new workspace. This is gonna be called Contenty. My collections, I want a new request. Oh, it's gonna be create collection. It's gonna be a post request. And I'm gonna spend it no body. Cannot read property name of undefined. That's what I thought. Okay, what happens when I do this now? Invalid, input valid, failed validation. I can't read. By name. That's not what I want. What I really want is, let's do joy. Ah, what the hell? I just want this, please. Thank you. Well, hell, that was. So Joy's gonna validate some inputs for us. Who, you know, you Google the simplest things, and all of a sudden, valid error. Ooh, okay. What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Express. How do I do joy expression? Joy express. Express joy. There we go. Joy. Express joy. Express whatever. Person method override. Whatever. Get user schema. Yes. Yes. Ugh. I'm gonna do this by hand. Okay. So let's do it here. First, I want to fix that. Joy. So, I'm going to now create schemas. These schemas are going to help me validate our values, right? Because I don't want to have to do this by hand all the time. I want to assume by the time I get here, my inputs are valid. So, I'm going to have some schemas. And there's going to be const I have some schema. The schema is going to be called create collection schema. And it's going to be joy.object. And it's going to have a name. It's going to be a joy.string. And it's going to have a slug, which is joy.optional string. Okay. And then I think what I want to do is to start here. Wait, joy.validate. How do I do that? General usage, sure. I have some schema. So my schema I can validate against the thing. Okay, nice. And then I just want to console.dir error, and then console.dir value, and then we're still learning, so let's do res.json data true. Now I assume to get data true back as a response instead of an error, but we should be able to see what it logs here. Have I restarted? Oh no. Optional.string is not a function. How about string.optional? That's it. Okay. Data true. I come over here. I get undefined on my errors, and I get an empty object. What if I do JSON? Undefined error. Errors are undefined. Oh, is it like a required? Do I have to do that to get you the error out? Yes. Okay. Haha. Cool. And then we get some error. It's a validation error, and error is required. I'm gonna see if I can throw that. If error, throw error. And then I want to remove value, or I just want to remove the error from there. Validation error, name is required. Cool. So, oops, I want that actually. If I give you a name as JSON, foo, you give me back data true, and I get name foo. Okay. So I have if error, throw error. That feels like something that should be middleware. So let's go ahead and add that as middleware. You give me a schema, I'll validate the body against the schema. So let's do that. Module.export validate body equals schema. Async request res Next. I am going to say const error value equals schema.validate rec.body if error I need to do error.code equals 400. Next error. I want to let the caller know that, hey, it's your fault. It's a 400 error. It's you messed up here. Cool. Validate body. And then I shouldn't have to do this anymore. I should be able to do body. Okay, same thing. I should get that. Name foo. And if I don't give it a name, name is required. Validation error. Name is required. Okay, cool. And I never get here. Let's make sure I never get here. Okay, so I assume because I logged this, if we ever looked at this line of code in this route, we would see it log here. So let's go ahead and click boom. I never see this logged. So I believe that we never get there, which is perfect. So let's go over what we just did. We created some route at post.collection or collections / and it's the post method. We added some middleware. The create collection or the validate body middleware. What that does is it takes a joy schema, well, some schema that exposes a validate method. That method will take the body and it returns an error or a value. I guess I could do a wait in case you want to do some async stuff. If there's an error validating that body, I'm going to say that is a your fault error, and we're going to do a next and then next. Cool. Let's make this one more thing. Oops, or not where is this? What the hell was that? Okay, so I have some middleware that I'm going to give a logger to, and then it's going to return to me a express middleware function. This express middleware function is the error handler. See how it has 4? Takes in an error, request response next. It's going to log the error and return the error for the next middleware, which is this middleware. This middleware will say const I have some error. Const code is error.code. It has a code, and that code is greater than 99. And that code is less than 600. If that's true, use the code. If that's not true, it's an internal error that we should have caught. Message is going to be error.message or internal server error. Our stack we have some error log. We're just going to log it and then throw it again. Our stack is at production. It's going to be undefined. We don't want to expose that. Else, it's going to be the error.stack so someone can do something. Now, here's our code. And then data. Okay, so if you throw me something. So I assume we will see, because of this middleware, throwing an error with code 400 and returning it to that. Oh, we need to add it, don't we? Okay, just like our preware, we're gonna have some postware. That postware is going to go after this route. It's going to be the exact same thing as here, except postware. Ooh, but they need things. Huh. Do I have a log here? No, I don't. So the issue is this. Yeah, my log error needs this. You know what I could do? I could just use the log. I know what the log is. Let's just use one log. Usually I like to be able to change it, but we're not going to. So we might come back and fix that at a later date. Probably not, but we might. Boom! Error is not defined. Well, whoops, we got there, so we should have logged. We did log our error. Okay. Name is required. 400 error. 400 error. Bad request. This response means that the server could not understand the request due to invalid syntax. Well, that's close. That's close enough, you know. Cool. So let's once again go over what we just did. We created a route that can create some sort of collections, right? We're working on what that means right now. We created some middleware that, given some schema, will return the middleware, and that will validate the body of the incoming request. That validates the body. If there's an error, it sets the error as 400, and then it throws the error in the middleware, basically. And then if it does pass, it sets rec.body as value, because this validate may do something with the body, right? What happens if we throw an error? Well, first we're going to log it and say, hey, it's an HTTP error. You know, I could actually probably do that. So if there's an error, it's going to log the error with the request and the response. And then it's going to send the next error out. This next handler will catch the error and deconstruct it, right? If you set a code and that code is greater than 99, because HTTP status codes start at 100, and if that error code is less than 600, because HTTP status codes stop at 600, we're going to use the code you gave me. Else, we're going to use 500. That's an internal server error. We are then going to say, okay, I have a message. That's whatever you sent as the message, or internal server error. We're going to set the stack value. If it's production, undefined, not real. Don't worry about it. Or we're going to set the error stack. What's the error stack look like? Depending on the error here, there, and the error there, right? Data, if you can also send like data along with the requests, this has been helpful in debugging, or if you want to say, you want to add metadata to the error message. So after deconstructing it, we're going to set the status of our response and send some JSON. And this will forward the error to these handlers. Cool. So validate it. If it's bad, it's going to bail. If not, it's going to move on. And now, I suppose if I do name foobar, I should get back foobar. I love to have fun. Only bad things came to mind. So, I love to have fun. I love to have fun. Cool. What did that do? That allows us to create these collections with the name, and now they have a slug that I can go to slash whatever, right? So we're gonna say slash name and then slug something specific. Okay, and then if you give me a slug and then I want to do body.slug equals body.slug I want to slugify. What happens if I slugify this twice? I don't know. But okay, so nothing happens if it's already a slug. What I don't want is them to give a slug like that, and then we not get. So cool. I can slugify my body. I'm going to fall back to the name, and then I'm going to slugify it. So that way, if they give me something like this, which wouldn't work in a URL, I slugify it anyways. Cool. And then, now comes the fun part. Collection in a DB. I am going to say, DB into collections, insert collection, return saved. Okay. Const. Oh, I can remove that, can't I? Cool. Const use cases equals require. Get back up there. Use cases. Oh, someone's having fun up there. So I have some use case. I'm going to get some data back from that use case. And then I want to see res.status. We built it for you. And then here's your data. Cool. So now I expect to get back ooh, what did that happen? Away is only valid in an async function. Yeah. That's what Doc would say. I expect to get that back. Cool. So now I have some collection. I called it posts. It has some slug called posts. And if I try to send it again, I get this weird error. Duplicate key constraint violates. Okay. And then I want to have some errors specific for this. I'm going to just do that here. Class, duplicate name, duplicate collection name, extends error. Already exists a collection with name. Plus duplicate slug name. Duplicate collection slug. This is a bad input. So I'm going to try this. We're going to catch the E. We're going to say if the error duplicate key violates unique constraint, if e.message.index of is greater than -1, if that exists, we're going to, if it contains slug, okay. If e.message.index of, yeah, shit. Name unique is greater than -1. Throw new duplicate name, collection.name. Else throw new duplicate slug, collection.slug. Okay, so I'm going to try to create it. By trying to create it, I am going to try to insert into the collections what you give me, returning what I saved. Rethrow it. So if there throws an error, if it's a duplicate, key violates unique constraint, right? So you try to give me something with the same name or same slug. Those should both be unique. Let's double check that. Unique, yep. Okay, name unique, duplicate, collection name. I'm going to throw collection name, duplicate collection slug. So I expect this instead of this weird error and getting 500, I should now get 400. There's already exists a collection with name posts. And if I do slug post farts, this dot message is not a function. Ooh, interesting. Oh, because I didn't do that. Okay. There already exists a collection with slug posts, and then I want to do I want to put some quotation marks around that, so it's like this thing, right? Let's see how that looks. With posts, cool. And then name. There's a collection of name posts. Cool. So now I have validation and I have better error messages, and you can see I'm logging these errors. So if I ever want to go back and look, I can see what they did. I can see the response, blah, blah. Ooh, status code 200. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to make a commit. So I can always come back to this point since I know that it kind of works. Prettier. So first I want to format it because, you know, I'm a sucker for formatting. I want to semi-false, single quote, true. Okay. Let's see what happens. Cool, we just formatted everything. Let's make sure it formatted it how I wanted it to. Yep, no semis. Everything's good. Now let's get commit. Add collection API working. This commit has the API for creating a collection. Okay, so now I want to be able to list my collections. That makes sense, right? So when I get, I'm going to have a middleware. It's going to be some route. So just like here where I have some use case, I'm going to have another use case. Exports.list. It's going to be async. It's going to be a query and a DB. And then I'm going to I can actually not have this async for now. I return a promise already. DB from collections, select all the columns, limit by query.limit, offset by query.offset, order by query.sort column, query.sort order. Cool. So let's do that. From collection, select all, where they made some query, and then limit and order. Okay. Excuse me. Now I expect I can list collections, and that's going to be a list. Boom. And then if I create one called farts, and I go back to lists, I have now 2, and they're descending. I want this ascending. I want it to be ABC order. Farts. Okay, and then let's just check our query. I do limit. I can only get 1. I should only see 1. Okay. Offset. I only want to do 0, or offset 1. Now I get post, right? If I do 0, I should get 0 back, right? Yep. Okay. So offset works, limit works, or offset. I'm going to take off offset. I'm going to take off limit. We know those work. Sort order, descending, posts, ascending, farts, sort column. Let's do ID. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Column O. Okay, and we just saw an error, so let's add an error. So the point of these errors are not so much to really help right now. It's to more of like, hey, in the future, Tim, you're gonna forget why this threw, and we're gonna give the developer that's writing this code a better way to debug. So okay, and then I'm going to catch. Once again, oh no. Did you not tell me? Yeah. Column blank does not exist. Column if error.index of column is greater than -1 and error. You could do like regex, but I don't feel like it, honestly. Error message.index of does not exist. Throw new missing column. So column does not exist. I want regex now. Okay. JavaScript regex. There we go. So I have this exact string. Let's just copy paste it. Okay, so I want column how's that go? Plus as many? Okay, so group 1. Okay, so if I write this const mesh equals my regular expression is that, and then if error.message.test, nope, regular expression dot test error Regex JavaScript. I hate this part. Oh, not you. Fuck you. Okay. First question. I have something. Okay. Use this thing. Whatever. Search engines escaping. Yes. Don't care. Using first person JavaScript. Yes. How's that work? I have regex exec. Okay. If column missing, you're going to return an array. Okay. So if column missing, I'm going to throw new else. We throw the error, throw new missing column missing 0 query. Okay. Did I quit this? No, I didn't. Okay. I should be able to do here and see. Did I fix that error? Ooh, that's not what that is not what happened. Okay. Does that work? You can't query column. Cannot query with column UID. Is that my, did I fuck up column twice? With column. That's one, okay. Cannot query with column UID due to it not existing in the database. Cool, can't query it. That works. And if it's not that error, we throw. So, whoops. List, I don't want to be logging this anymore. Okay, so. Cool, and then I want to sort by ID. OC72A5, so if I do descending, they should flip. Okay, and then now I want to delete a collection. So I have some router that's going to get a delete at a specific ID. This collections. It's a use case. ID in a DB collections where ID delete, return everything that was there. Because we're doing this, we gotta okay, so when you delete, you're gonna give me an ID and a database. I'm gonna look in that database, and where I find in the collections this ID, I'm gonna delete it, returning what I removed. Delete wrec.params.id and a db res.status 200 JSON data. So now I'm gonna query. I want to delete my farts one. It's going to be a delete. Boom, we get farts. I send it again, I get nothing. And if I list my collection, I get nothing. Cool, did I get an error there? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. I can create one. And then we're going to call yarn.format. And now this is all nice and formatted. Cool, now let's go ahead and be able to get a single one. So if you get a GET request, we're going to say const data equals await use cases dot collections dot get by ID rec dot params dot ID and db JSON data. Now let's go implement this. Module dot exports dot get by ID is going to be an async. Nope, I can do this without async. It's going to be an ID and a DB. I'm going to DB from collections where ID select all and grab your first one. So now I should be able to do okay, and then I want to be able to oops, I don't know what the hell happened there. New request get collection by ID. And there it is. And if this is not a real thing, I want it to throw. I don't get anything. This is undefined. Now we need this. Errors. HTTP. Okay. Okay. Got some HTTP errors. If no data, throw new HTTP errors. Okay, so I should now see errors. I could not find resource collection with that ID. Could not find collection ID. Okay, because now I also want to be able to do collection ID. Okay, what else do I want to do? I want to be able to get by name, right? Yeah, we're not gonna worry about that yet. I have no use for that yet. I don't care. Okay, so how's this gonna help me? So I can create one, I can list them, I can get by ID, I can do this, I can do all the CRUD. I need to update, okay? So let's put, I think it's a put. And we need to validate our body. So let's do that. Const update collection schema joy.object name joy.string.optional slug joy.string.optional. Okay. So when we update something, we're going to validate the body, and it's update collection schema. And then middleware.route. It's going to be a use case. A DB from collections where ID update returning all of it. Return updated. Use cases dot collections dot update by ID rec dot params dot ID rec dot body db res dot json status to on json data. Okay. I forget which one it is. Leave, don't care. Guru 99. Post method for support of HTTP. The key difference. Put message called you have to modify a single resource while posting method. I have to what? That's what I thought. Okay. Cool. And now I want to be able to update by ID. It's gonna be a put request. No put. Patch. I like patch more. It's my shit, so I can do whatever I want. Okay. So let's list first. What? What are you yelling about? Oh wait, only valid in a function that has the async keyword. I get it. Okay, what else are you yelling about? Join.string. Fuck you. You know that's not what I meant, computer. Oh man, if it thought what I meant, I would not code. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I have some ID. Actually, I'm going to create a collection called farts. And then I'm going to rename shoot. Oops, I don't, nope. And we're doing you a courtesy. If you mess this up, you mess this up. Okay, so I have some ID of farts. I want to update by ID. And I'm going to have a new name. Farts is just weird. Foobar's better. Ooh, my slug still farts though. So let me go ahead and update my slug as well. Foobar. Boom. So now, if I list, I have foobar, I have posts. I'm going to delete that. What's my default? Yeah, my default's ABC. Okay, I can create a collection. I can list those collections. I can get the collection by ID. I can update the collection, and I can delete a collection. What more do we need to do? But that's good. Now, here comes the actual hard part. Okay, we need to be able to say, let's actually commit this. CRUD collections. This commit allows us to CRUD over to create, read, update, and delete collections using the API. Okay. Now I need this really abstract router that is going to use the information inside of here, right? We've done this once. Now let's abstract this to any collection. I want to be able to create, I want to be able to list, I want to be able to get, update, and delete. Anything, even if it's /post, you know what I'm saying? So, how do we do that? We're going to have some router that's going to be called generic. I don't want to name it generic. That's too generic. Dynamic collections. And you don't need that. Okay. So, what's going to happen here? Well, just like everything else. So, I have some route. It's going to be some async. Here's what I want. I want, when I make a get, I want to be able to do this, right? Query this basically. So let's actually just copy paste this. Yes. Okay, so I have some query. That's exactly what I want. Sure. I don't really know what that's going to be. What else do I want to do? I can then, not collections, dynamic. Query collection name is going to be rec.params. Okay, so what I'm saying is I have some use cases which are dynamic, and I want to list it. I'm going to give you a params. I'm going to give you my collection name. Query MDB. So let's go to use cases. Let's go to dynamic.js. And do module.exports.dynamic equals require dynamic. Okay. List, you're going to get a collection name, you're going to get the query, you're going to get the DB. Okay. And now we're just going to go over here and go hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. I would like to do this, please. Okay. Now we got to think. I want to find my collection name. So yeah, hold on. Let's think this through. Let's take a step back here. I want to, step one, find collection ID by collection name. Okay. Step two, find posts associated with collection ID. So I need a new DB migration. Posts. That's going to be my infrastructure, my DB, my integrations. So just like before, let's go ahead and use this. It's going to create a table called posts. Let's actually call them items. I like items a lot more than posts. It's just like, why? I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and run our migrations. Cool, run it again. I get nothing. Cool, let's roll back. Okay, if I migrate, if I roll back, and I migrate, and I roll back. Okay, roll backing works. Now let's do the table. Table.user_id. I have some, every post is going to have a unique ID. It'll be its primary ID. It will be not nullable and will default to that. Okay. They're also going to have collection ID, which is not nullable. Okay. Comment the UUID of the collection this item is attached to. Okay, so if you have farts, if you have a lot of items which are farts, this UID connects them. Okay, and table.jsonb data not nullable default to comment the data item. Okay. The collection ID is a foreign reference that references collections at ID, and I want to delete cascade. So if I delete this collection ID and I say cascade those changes, it will cascade down and delete all of these items. And if I change the ID of that and I say cascade, it will change here. So I'm just gonna say some data because I don't know what that would be yet. We set some stuff here that I want, but I feel like if it's I'm basically treating these as what's the word, like MongoDB sort of document stores, right? I'm saying that I have some collection, which is like the collection in MongoDB, and I'm going to attach some metadata like a name and a slug to it, but that's mostly for an internal routing purposes. When you save something, you're going to save an item, which is a document basically. It's going to have its own ID, and it's going to have its own collection ID. That's how it references the collection it's in. And then the data, whatever you want. It has to be JSONifiable, but I mean, that's pretty common. I cannot imagine I would want to save a function, right? Okay, so I have some dynamic thing. I have some infrastructure that has some items. So now I can do migrate again. I have items. Cool. Now, when I find post associated, step 3, return posts. Okay, so I'm going to do this in many queries. This is not cool. This is not efficient. It's going to work for now, though. So first, I want to collection. Collection is going to be await DB from collections where name is collection name. No, slug is collection. Ooh, thank God we caught that. This is actually the slug. Okay. So we're going to pass that slug. We're going to grab the first one. If there's no collection, we're going to throw const. No. If there's no collection, so if there's no collection, I could not find something with this slug, therefore I can't do anything else. If there is one, I want to look at how I did. Oh, no. Okay, now I am going to query those posts. So items is going to be await from my items where collection ID is equal to collection.id. I need to select things. Select everything. I don't care right now. This is not performant, but I don't care. From DB where, boom, select all values. I'm going to select the data values actually. I'll select all. We'll figure that out later. Yeah, let's just do data. Yeah, I don't care about ID data. Okay. Can I do that, or does it need to be an array? Limit query dot limit offset query dot offset order by query dot sort column query dot sort order. And I can just return these, right? Yeah. And then I want this cool little thingamajig. I used it twice, so I should probably do something like this. Okay, and then I want, not this, I want to pull it in from my errors, my DB, DB. So I have some DB errors, and then that's going to detach error. How did I do this? Okay, so I have some, let's go through what we just did. I have some new router that is at /slug. So if it's not DB, it's not collections, I'm gonna say, hey, maybe you're trying to get this slug. That slug is gonna go to dynamic collection. It's going to, oh, did I not add this yet? Nope, no I did, dynamic. Why can't I, excuse me. Oh, I don't have use cases anywhere, okay. So my use case, I have a dynamic. It's going to find the collection where the slug that you gave me matches, right? So if you're trying to reach /farts, right? This would be farts. I'm going to select all of that. If there isn't anything, I'm going to say, hey, there's no collection with that slug. If there is, I'm going to query it. I'm going to select the ID and the data. I'm going to limit and my offset. I'm going to order by, and then our normal catching. So here, query, we did that. Okay, so I believe, oops, what did we do? Await is only valid in a function that you put async in front of. Yes, I understand. Okay, I want to list my collections, so I want to update this one to be farts again. I just thought that was funny. Okay, so now I have something called farts, and farts, I want to list farts, right? Maybe I'm keeping track of all the farts I've ever taken. I don't know. Taken, as if you take a fart. Farts. DB is not defined. That's fair. That's I'll take that. No. Oh no, that's not there. Bitch. That's there. Undefined slug claim from slug equals blank. Okay. Did I do slug on my migration? Slug? Okay. Undefined. Oh, so you're telling me that I'm not sending you anything. Let's double check that and do debug true. So now when I make this query, I should be told what I was going to do, right? What? Hello? Did I not just tell you to let me see what my query was? You're not even letting me see what my query is. That's so rude of you. True. Whatever, that's not working. Okay. I think it's because we're not getting a slug, so I want to see what this is. What are my params coming into the system? An empty object. Very interesting. But there it is. Do I have to do this? And then I go here and I say get slug. Is that what we're missing? Yep, okay. Yep, that's what was missing. And then I'm pretty sure this is an array. data. Okay, cool. And I want to create fart. So I just had a good fart. I want to tell my system about it. Well, it's going to be some JSON, right? And it's going to have the date 2020 09/26, whatever, right? It happened. Severity, intense. It was an intense fart. And smelled, going to be true. Okay. Cannot post to farts. Cool. Let's create that. Ooh, that's interesting. I am not going to be able to validate the body easily, but we'll worry about that later. Maybe we add that as like, you can store a JSON schema, and then I can validate inputs against that JSON schema. We'll figure that out. But if I post to slug, right? We can't validate the body yet, but I can have a route. Okay. And in this route, I am going to const body equals my request. I'm going to say I'm going to await dynamic module.exports.create is going to have collection slug item db. And this part is going to be the exact same. So let's go ahead and say slug. I'm going to slug on the DB, and I can give you this. Okay. Const collection equals await connection slug and a DB collection. Now I have some collection, and I want to insert into this created equals await DB into items. Insert collection ID is collection.ID. Data is item. Yeah. Okay, I expect this to work. I assume if I do this, I'll get back some sort of object that has an ID and data. And data will have date, severity, and smelled. Uh-oh. We can't even... this is going to be the bane of my fucking existence, dude. Collection slug is not defined. I have some ID, I have some data, it has my farts, and if I list farts, boom. Okay, so we can generically create a collection, right? I did my made farts, whatever. I can then list those collections. I can get one by my ID, I can update it, and I could delete it if I wanted to. I also have the ability to, once I've created one, list the things that are a part of that, and I can create farts, right? I can create something and I get the information back. Okay, that, let's look at our goal list. Did we delete it? I bet you I did. Like, I'm not gonna do that. No, I can create content types. I can create a post. I can create an item for sale. I can't do that yet. Let's do that though. So let's create a collection. This collection is gonna be called products. Now I want a new folder. Products. It's going to be create product post, and then I need a list products, and it's going to be get. So 50. So without changing any of my code, all I've done is programmatically created something. I'm assuming I can do this and get an empty array back. Okay? And then if I create something, let's say that this is a product. What did we tell we wanted product to have? We wanted title, description, images, meta tags, body, price, inventory count. So can we do this? Okay, so you said you wanted a title, my product for sale. You said you wanted a description, my description of the product that is many lines. Okay, a main image, which is going to be like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg's. View file. Good old Ruthie, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and then other images. Okay, and none of this matters because it's all just a document. It's very very loosey-goosey right now. And like I said, we could care if you really wanted to add validation. We could say when you create a collection, you also give me a JSON schema, and then we can use that JSON schema to validate. But we're not going to do that. Body. Okay, and then we have some meta title. Keywords, foo, bar. Baz, these are not good. I mean, you can do whatever you want here. Price, 2.50. And count, I have 10 of them. Okay. Oops. What did we do? Nothing. Oh, I didn't give it a... products. Boom. When I create a product, I didn't change any of my code, and I have all the information that I could need. Now I had nothing here. List products. Boom! All right, how long was that? 2 hours. It took us 2 hours to be able to create a post and create items for sale. We created some sort of abstraction over the database, and we kind of understand how to move forward from here, right? Let's keep on adding the CRUD. So I can create items, I can read. Let's do by one. So if I get at my slug by ID, right? And then I want to const data equals await use cases dot dynamic dot exports dot get by ID is a function that's asynchronous. Not gonna get me again. You know what I could do? I don't need the slug here because each item has a unique ID. So I can just do this. DB from items where ID select all ID and data and select the first one. Okay. Get by ID rec.params.id into DB res.json data. So I want to be able to get this singular one. I can get the ID. Okay, and now let me be able to patch very similar to this. but I want to do params by ID, rec.params.body, oh, rec.body. Okay, and then I want to update by ID. And this update by ID that doesn't have to be async. This one does. ID update DB const updated equals await DB from items where ID update. Ooh, first I want to const item equals await await item get by ID ID DB update so I'm going to merge in the old data values with the new data values, returning once again just ID and data and return updated. Okay, so I have some update by ID function. Okay, so now I assume I can still get by ID. I want to update product. This is going to be a patch. Oops. I want actually count to be 5. I just sold a lot, right? Whoops. Body of relation. Uh-oh. Oh, hush, Bubba. Is that what I wanted? Yes. Count. Okay. And then we do price is 10. Price is 10. Okay. And if I list, we see that those work. I can get it. So I want to list products. I want to create products. I want to get products. I want to update products. And now let's delete products. Very similar to everything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually institute this before we do it. Module.exports.delete by ID is ID in a DB, and we're going to do await DB from items where ID delete, returning everything, returning just ID and data. Return removed. Okay. I caught it for the first time ever. Okay. Now I want to delete. Oops. And I want to delete this product. I now have deleted it, and now if I try to list my products, it should be an empty list. If I should get a 404, but I don't. So let's go ahead and get here. Nope. Do I have HTTPers? No. Let's go ahead and import those. I can't tell what's selected if you can't tell. Resource not found. Okay. Okay. Cannot find resource products ID. Boom. Okay. Cool. I'm sorry, Ruth, you're freaking me out. I'm gonna have to close you. There we go. Okay. So I have the ability, not the obligation, to create content types. These content types are an abstraction over the database that I call specific things, right? I'm calling them farts or products or whatever, right? And I can create a post. There is a post type. Let's list that. I have a post type and I have a product type. You can create post. You can do whatever the hell you want. It's all just JSON. Oh, that's JSON. And we prove that by creating a product for sale. Let's list our products. I don't have anything, so let's create one. I've created one. Let me list it again. And I can get these products. I can CRUD over these products, right? I can create, read, update, or destroy these products. So I feel like we're pretty good here. Okay. I feel like that's a good stopping point for now. If we decide to come back later, we will obviously be doing some validation stuff so that you say, I want my data to be like this, and it's always like that. But for now, we don't need that. This commit allows us to create, read, update, and destroy collection items. Okay. Git create. Nope. Okay. We're going to do this by hand. Give me 1 second. This is going to be forbidden for a second. Hopefully you can still hear everything. Of course the dog's barking. All right. So we create some repository. It's Contenty, a basic CMS using Postgres and Node. It's public. Sure, why not? We are now going to get out of remove, get push. Cool. Now, if you go to beardedtim.contenty, github.com/beardedtim/contenty, you should be able to do that, and I'm going to post that in this Twitch channel. Maybe that helps somebody. I don't know. HTTPS:// but that's gotta be an easier way to do this. github.com fuck you /beardedtim/contenty. If I go there, do I see what I want to see? Yep. Cool. Alright, dudes. The one person watching, which is probably me. We have done what we wanted to do. We have created the CMS. Next time, let's add to do. I can create schemas for the collections. Some JSON input that matches JSON schema. This way, enforce, okay? Enforce items against schema. Allow non-schema items to create. Okay. And I can search items based I can search items of a collection. What else do we want to do? I think that's it. Next time, maybe later today, maybe next weekend, who knows? I want to create schemas for these collections. So if you've seen, it doesn't really matter what's in here. I want it to, right? I want an error to happen if I say, hey, these products look like this, and then I try to create one that doesn't look like that. So I want to be able to create JSON schemas. I want to force them against the schema. But if there isn't one, I want to allow it to still create items. I also want to be able to search these collections by arbitrary keys, arbitrary values, and arbitrary sort. Okay, cool. Thanks, y'all. Bye.